that are pretty clever in there.
Looks connected there from Romero. Jaime rolled with him.
And Rolly put out the upset. I don't want to say that's crazy, but yeah, hopefully, bro. Hopefully for the sake of Rolly.
The highly anticipated fight between Ryan Garcia and Rolly Romero is almost here. And as Oscar De La Hoya mentioned, this could be one of the biggest boxing events of the year. Both fighters are known for their power, confidence, and sometimes reckless styles inside the ring, making fans eager to see how this matchup unfolds. While many experts believe Garcia has the advantage, some are still considering the possibility of Romero pulling off a surprising upset. Fighters who have shared the ring with either of these two have already started making their predictions, and the debate continues to heat up on social media.
The most eyes on you, the most to prove. What's your prediction? What's going to happen May 2nd?
I put Rolly to sleep with the left hook. That's it. That's what you're going to see.
One of the most surprising opinions comes from Gervonta Tank Davis, the undefeated knockout artist who has fought both Ryan Garcia and Rolly Romero. Davis is known for his incredible punching power, slick defense, and his ability to break down opponents over time. He has faced some of the hardest hitters in boxing, including Leo Santa Cruz, Isaac Cruz, and Ryan Garcia. But when asked who hit him the hardest, Davis didn't hesitate to name Rolly Romero.
Round 8 begins. If Manuel.
I'm not gonna lie, Rolly hits hard, Davis said. People are sleeping on him. He might not have the best chin so he gets caught, but he can really hit. He's the only fighter I've faced where when he swung, it felt like there were bricks in his hands. This statement raised some eyebrows since Davis fought Romero in 2022 and knocked him out in the 6th round. If Romero truly was Davis's hardest hitter, it makes you wonder if Garcia is underestimating Rolly's power. Davis's knockout win over Romero seemed one-sided, but before the stoppage, Romero did land some clean punches. Davis admitted that while Romero's wild style cost him the fight, he definitely felt the power in his shots.
On the inside here, there's a nice left hook upstairs.
Pull it off, but it's gonna be a good fight. No? You think? Huh?
Someone's gonna get knocked out.
Yeah, for sure. Somebody get knocked out.
Was it Ryan or was it Rolly? Because they both.
I ain't gonna lie, Rolly hit hard. People be sleeping on Rolly because he been obviously, I don't know how to say it.
Even though Davis respects Romero's power, he points out one of his biggest weaknesses, his lack of defense. This is one of the main reasons many people are picking Ryan Garcia to win the fight. Garcia has been very confident in his prediction, saying that he plans to stop Romero. While he has made it clear that he's not overlooking Romero, Garcia also has bigger plans after this fight, especially a rematch.
And the foot pressure from Jaime is a little more
But he really wants to make it clear.
Full circle and see who would really win in the fight. You know what I mean? Because in sparring, anything can happen. You know what I mean? Like, anything can happen. But when it's real, when it's for everything, who wins?
Okay, who wins?
Me personally, I believe Ryan Garcia.
Knockout or by point?
I would say that.
Garcia knows that Romero is coming to fight, but he's not taking him lightly. I'm not overlooking him, Garcia said. I'll still train my hardest, but everyone is talking about the rematch with Haney, and that's where my focus is. I just need to prepare well. I know I'm the better fighter, and I'm going to knock him out. Since his loss to Gervonta Davis, Garcia has been putting in hard work, and many believe he's improved, especially his focus. His speed is going to be his biggest advantage in this fight.
And then you got the best left in the world.
Romero is known for his aggressive style, often throwing wide, looping punches. In contrast, Garcia is a precise counterpuncher who can capitalize on his opponent's mistakes. His left hook, in particular, is a dangerous weapon, and Garcia has made it clear how he expects this fight to go. I'm going to put Rolly to sleep with a left hook. That's it. That's what you're going to see, period. Garcia's left hook has been his signature punch for years. He used it to knock out Luke Campbell in 2021, even after being dropped earlier in the fight. He also caught Javier Fortuna with it, sending him to the canvas multiple times before finishing the fight. Given Romero's style of charging forward with his hands down, he might make himself an easy target for Garcia's lethal left hook.
I mean, it's a pretty competitive fight. I mean, that volume and pressure throughout the 3 minutes.
How concerned are you with that left hook that he is so proud of?
Not very concerned at all.
At all?
At all.
Devin Haney, the former undisputed lightweight champion, isn't holding back his thoughts on the Garcia vs. Romero fight. When asked about the matchup, Haney confidently predicted Romero would get knocked out early. Rolly gets hit way too much, Haney said. You can't fight someone like Ryan Garcia and be that reckless. It's only a matter of time before Ryan catches him clean. Haney also reminded everyone that Romero has a history of getting hurt in fights, even against opponents who aren't known for their power. He pointed out that Romero was knocked out by Gervonta Davis and was nearly stopped by Ismael Barroso, a 40-year-old veteran who had Romero hurt badly before the referee controversially intervened.
He's not letting Jaimes actually break the distance with that jab anymore. That angle.
Ryan can't say that because the thing is he's never been champion. He was trying to belittle the fact of a world champion. Everyone on here, except for with the exception of Barboza and Ryan, have been world champions. So why are you going to discredit somebody who's achieved much more?
According to Haney, if Barroso could land punches on Rolly that easily, Garcia will have no trouble finding his target. Rolly's strong, but he telegraphs his punches too much, Haney said. Ryan will see those big shots coming from a mile away. Haney pointed out that Garcia's speed advantage will be crucial for the win. While Garcia has been criticized for some defensive lapses, Haney believes Garcia's counter-punching ability will be the deciding factor in the fight.
See right there, Jaimes is squared up, and Romero's doing the right shots, but he's starting with the body.
Ryan isn't perfect, but he's sharp. He's got that deadly left hook, and once he times Rolly, the fight is over. When asked for a final prediction, Devin Haney was confident the fight wouldn't go the distance. Garcia wins by knockout within 6 rounds, Haney said. This fight ain't going the distance. Rolly isn't built for this kind of fight. Ryan's too fast, too sharp, and Rolly's too wild. It's only a matter of time before he gets caught.
I'm not taking him lightly or anything like that. I'm still going to train my best, but, everybody really wants to see the rematch, and that's where my heart's at. I just got to, prepare well, and I know I'm the better fighter. I'm going to knock him out.
However, Regis Prograis isn't convinced that Ryan Garcia will have an easy victory. While he recognizes Garcia's experience, speed, and power, he also doesn't overlook the unpredictability of Rolly Romero. Prograis has seen sparring footage where Romero gave Garcia a tough time in the gym, and he believes that wild, unorthodox fighters like Romero can be difficult to time. Although Prograis leans toward Garcia winning based on his resume and fight experience, he isn't ruling out Rolly. The former 2-time champion has been outspoken about his views on the 140-pound division, and despite his back-to-back losses to Devin Haney and Jack Catterall, he remains a significant player in the weight class. His upcoming February 14th fight against Oscar Duarte is his chance to get back on track, but his interest in the Garcia vs. Romero fight shows he's keeping an eye on future opportunities.
For Romero,
Ryan Garcia, Oscar De La Hoya, a win like this.
What's the game plan to beat Ryan Garcia?
I already got a game plan.
Pera has never been a fan of Rolly Romero's skills, previously labeling him a B fighter and the least deserving champion when he controversially won the WBA title against Ismael Barroso. On that night, Barroso appeared to be on his way to victory, but the referee made a baffling decision to stop the fight in Rolly's favor. This call left boxing fans and analysts furious, and it only reinforced the idea that Romero was more about his personality than being a legitimate contender. Since then, Romero took a brutal knockout loss to Isaac Cruz and barely managed to win against Manuel Gimenez in his last fight. Despite all of this, he hasn't shied away from talking a big game, and now fighters like George Kambosos are backing him to come out victorious against Ryan Garcia.
Level as it is, it will put him back into that mix, and I wouldn't be surprised to hear his name.
Rolly, he just said he's looking past you to fight Devin Haney. That doesn't concern you at all?
I think Devin should get the fight again.
But he said he's not even worried about you. He's not even thinking about you. He's looking forward to that fight, that you're just going to be a...
George Kambosos, a former lightweight champion, believes that Ryan Garcia just needs to be himself. Having trained with Rolly, he knows that when Garcia fights aggressively and doesn't overthink, he's a dangerous opponent. The issue, however, is that Ryan's reckless style has gotten him into trouble against fighters with elite timing. Gervonta Davis took advantage of his mistakes, Isaac Cruz overwhelmed him, and even against Javier Fortuna, Garcia didn't look like a top-tier fighter. But Kambosos argues that if Rolly taps into his old dog mentality, he has the ability to stop anyone.
I think there's probably money on the table for him in a fight like that. The promotion would be pretty interesting.
Ryan Garcia is going up to 147. I'm not going to say I think he's going to be fast. I'm not sure if his strength is going to translate to 147. It went with him to 1.
Oscar De La Hoya, Garcia's promoter, is building up the May 2nd fight card as a groundbreaking event, something boxing has never seen before. He's calling it a historic night, one that will top even the greatest fights in the sport's history. De La Hoya insists that Cinco de Mayo weekend in New York will be the biggest night boxing has ever seen. However, not everyone is buying into the hype. The fan reaction to the card has been rather underwhelming, mainly because Rolly is not seen as a serious challenge for Ryan Garcia, and the Haney vs. Ramirez fight isn't generating much excitement either.
Big left hand by Garcia. Locks Haney early. Advantage, and he can take the back.
He's a fighter that can come and fight. He's hungry. He's hungry to get on top. He's hungry to be world champion.
De La Hoya admits that Isaac Pitbull Cruz was Garcia's preferred opponent, but they couldn't make the fight happen because Cruz had already committed to another bout. Still, De La Hoya remains hopeful for a Garcia versus Cruz fight in the future. The issue now is that Rolly has already been knocked out twice, and his performance against Gervonta Davis left a lot to be desired. Meanwhile, Ramirez is coming off a loss to Arnold Barbosa Jr., which makes Haney's fight seem less exciting. Despite this, De La Hoya still believes in Garcia's star power, and there's no doubt that the event will draw massive attention. However, for the fight to live up to the hype, Garcia needs to deliver something special. He has to knock Rolly out in a way that leaves no question about his dominance. A close fight or a lackluster decision won't satisfy the fans. Garcia has made big claims about stopping Rolly, and now the pressure is on him to back it up.
One of those mega fights that me and Ryan, that's a fight I'm definitely interested in. It's a beautiful fight, you know. It's gonna be great.
On the other hand, Haney is clearly taking the rematch with Garcia for the financial rewards. De La Hoya openly admitted that Haney wouldn't have agreed to the fight if it weren't for the huge payday. This raises the question, does Haney truly believe he can win, or is he just after the biggest check? If he beats Ramirez and gets the rematch, he'll have the opportunity to prove that he's the better fighter when Garcia isn't using banned substances. But if he loses, everything changes. While De La Hoya is busy promoting the event as the biggest in boxing history, there's a possibility that the man behind the biggest fights in Saudi Arabia, Turki Al-Akay, may have other plans. Some believe he should step in and adjust the card to make it more appealing, especially if fans aren't excited about Rolly and Ramirez as the co-headliners. There's still time to make changes.
A former champion with an 8-round unanimous decision over him back in. Now things get a little...
Ahead of the LA press conference, the big fight. You guys are fighting in Times Square, May 2nd. Huge card, Mr. Excellency.
Rolly Romero isn't just getting in the ring with Ryan Garcia on May 2nd. He's getting inside his head, and he's doing it with everything he's got. The trash talk is nonstop, the disrespect is off the charts, and Rolly is making it clear to everyone how he feels about Garcia. He's not just hyping up the fight, he genuinely doesn't respect Ryan as a boxer and wants to embarrass him in front of the world. He just wants to be a model, Rolly said, laughing off Garcia's credibility. But it doesn't stop there. Rolly promised to punch him in the face and reminded everyone that their past sparring sessions already told him everything he needs to know about Ryan. According to Rolly, Garcia hasn't improved at all. He's still making the same predictable mistakes, still easy to hit, still the same fighter he remembers from years ago. And if that's true, Rolly believes this will be one of the easiest fights of his career.
There's a right hand.
The only reason Ryan's in this position is because he has a bunch of followers. He likes to hang out with a bunch of fucking...
For Rolly, this fight isn't just about winning. It's about proving Garcia isn't the real deal. He sees Ryan as a fake, a social media star pretending to be a boxer, and he's determined to expose him on fight night. Rolly has been studying Garcia closely for years and truly believes he has the plan to break him down. He thinks Garcia's speed is overrated, his power isn't anything special, and his defense is practically non-existent. Rolly is convinced that Garcia has been getting by on hype, not skill. The real danger here is that Rolly is trying to get inside Ryan's head. If Garcia lets his emotions take control, it could cause him serious trouble. When Ryan sticks to his speed and technique, he's a dangerous fighter. But when he lets his emotions drive him, when he gets reckless, that's when he makes mistakes. Rolly is counting on exactly that. This fight is personal for Romero. He's not just after a win, he's looking to make a statement. If he can make Ryan crack under pressure, he won't just win the fight, he'll win the battle for how people see him. And that might end up being even more important.
Cam is important for Devin because when Ryan falls back,
there's been a lot of back and forth between you and Ryan Garcia. What are your thoughts and what message would you send him right now, brother?
I have no thoughts about him. I don't give a about him. He's not a boxer, so who gives a about him? Of course, thank you.
Ryan, of course, isn't taking any of this lightly. He's been responding in his own way, but the bigger story is the amount of pressure he's under heading into this fight. After his controversial no contest against Devin Haney, where he initially won but had the result overturned due to testing positive for ostarine, Garcia finds himself in a position where he has to prove himself all over again. For months, he's been trying to convince everyone that his failed drug test was a setup, even accusing Haney's camp of being involved. That ostarine BS, which you probably did set up, Garcia said, looking directly at Haney. But Haney wasn't having it. How did you test positive? Haney shot back, fully aware that Garcia had already accepted his punishment from the New York State Athletic Commission, which gave him a 1-year suspension.
Most competitive of the 3 rounds thus far.
I mean, I hope he keeps training with Derek James. That shoulder roll, that's amazing. It was a good performance. Yeah, he won. Yeah. He stopped Jordan. Yeah, it was a great performance. It was a good performance. Yeah.
Garcia insists that ostarine had nothing to do with him dropping Haney 3 times during their fight. Ostarine doesn't help you block a left hook, bro, Garcia told Haney. You got hit like 1,000 times. You got dribbled off the canvas. Despite the controversy, that fight remains one of the biggest moments of Garcia's career, and he's determined to prove that he doesn't need any banned substances to repeat that success. But before he can think about a rematch, he has to first get past Rolly, who's been studying Garcia for years and is fully convinced he's going to expose him in the ring. Meanwhile, the upcoming Fatal Fury card is shaping up to be one of the most exciting events in recent boxing history. Not only are Garcia and Haney fighting, but Teofimo Lopez is also stepping into the spotlight to face Arnold Barbosa. Garcia isn't just focused on Rolly and Haney. He's already thinking about Lopez too. Teo right there, Garcia said, pointing at Lopez during the press conference. I want that. I want that belt. I want everything. It's a bold challenge, especially considering Lopez has been making waves in the division. In the first press conference, Lopez and Barbosa got into a heated exchange, and things quickly got out of hand when Lopez actually slapped Barbosa during their face-off. If Garcia manages to get through Rolly and then Haney, it looks like Lopez is next on his radar. The problem, though, is that Garcia isn't in a position to be looking past Rolly. That's exactly what Romero is counting on. He's betting on Garcia's arrogance, on the belief that he's already won the fight before it's even started. And that's the same mistake so many fighters have made before, thinking a fight will be easy, only to be surprised when it's not.
He had to cut down to 135 he felt he was completely fit.
You know, I'm really focused on just whooping Devin Haney's ass again. That's all I'm really worried about. So, just to not even redeem myself, but cement that bullshit fucking off-stream bullshit. You know what you probably did set up. We know you did that.
Rolly isn't exactly a technical genius in the ring, but what he lacks in precision, he makes up for with pure chaos. He's unpredictable, aggressive, and more than willing to turn a fight into a street brawl if that's what it takes. That's what makes this fight so dangerous for Garcia. If Garcia goes in expecting Rolly to be just another reckless slugger that he can easily pick apart, he might be in for a big surprise. There's a risk in this fight for Garcia that many people aren't talking about enough. If Garcia wins, no one will be shocked. He's expected to win. If he knocks Rolly out, people will just see it as him doing what he was supposed to do. But if Garcia loses, it's disaster. It would ruin everything he's worked to build since his fight with Haney. It would make people question whether his performance against Haney was ever real in the first place. A loss could completely derail his career momentum and put him in a tough spot moving forward.
It's completely fair. There it is. We're trying to hide behind that left shoulder.
Started boxing like 5 or something. Damn, it took him that long to evolve somewhat. I'm very impressed. He still hasn't been champion though.
Fair enough.
And the only times that he's ever had the opportunity to be champion was with Gervonta, but instead of trying to sacrifice the extra pound and trying to make 135, he decided not to. And then with Devin, who we clearly know he didn't even try to. He doesn't want to be fucking champion.
Rolly, on the other hand, has nothing to lose. He's already been written off by many. If he wins, it's a career-changing moment. If he loses, well, people expected him to lose anyway. What makes things even worse for Garcia is that Rolly isn't just talking, he's actually working to get inside Garcia's head. Based on what we've seen in press conferences and on social media, it looks like it might be working. Rolly knows exactly what to say to get under Garcia's skin, to make him emotional, and to push him to prove a point instead of just focusing on winning the fight. That's dangerous for Garcia. When Garcia stays focused, sticks to his jab, uses his speed, and works on his footwork, he's an elite fighter. But when he lets his emotions take over, when he gets drawn into a brawl, that's when things can go wrong. That's exactly what happened when he fought Dervon Davis, and we all saw how that ended.
Importance of the
Otra vez igual, igual como lo tiraste.
With everything leading up to May 2nd, one thing is certain. This fight isn't just about who has the better skills. It's about mindset. It's about who can handle the pressure, who can manage the chaos, and who can deliver when it counts. Garcia might be the more technically skilled fighter, but Rolly is the one who seems completely calm and unaffected by all the hype. He's already been through tough battles with Tank and Cruz. He's experienced losses, and this fight isn't about protecting his reputation, it's about breaking down Garcia's. That's what makes him such a dangerous opponent in the ring.